Today I want to talk about what I put into my work pack. I work in the field very often doing bird surveys, wildlife surveys, wetland delineations. I work as a biologist for an environmental consulting firm. So I find myself on the road and out in the field very often. This is kind of my standard kit. So I'll go over some of this stuff, talk a little bit about it. I'm going to put it into this Zevo 20, show you kind of how I run things. Let's get into it. So one of the most essential pieces of my gear while I'm out in the field is my notebook. So I have got some Write in the Rain paper on some 6-ring binders. These all came from Battleboard. That's how this is all set up. So I've got field notes paper here. I do have some other tools. These are for wetland delineations, but I can keep my notes, access, reference materials. Field notes are essential. I can store my pens. Plus I've got some room for some cool morale patches. I like to keep this very handy. I typically will throw this thing on the outside of my pack so that I can get to it, just sling my pack over my shoulder and then really, quickly write some notes. I don't like to dig through my pack for my notebook. Something I think gets often overlooked in my career field, and oftentimes in other careers where they're out in the field for extended periods of time. So this is kind of my emergency kit. So I've got, some survival gear in terms of some duct tape. I've got a bivvy shelter. I've got my first aid kit. Got some licky chewies. I've got an extra pair of gloves, those kinds of things. Basically, I'm not expecting to need to camp out overnight, but if I'm 7 miles into the backcountry and something happens, I need to have some stuff with me that can easily be moved from pack to pack, but isn't too heavy. And then, I can get to, and I know what's in there, the 10 essentials, basically. And then, of course, because you never know, rain jacket, obviously. Right now, going into spring, it's kind of off and on, hit or miss, whether you're gonna get some weather. Sometimes it'll be rain, sometimes it'll be snow. I like to have that. I do typically carry a puffy. I spend a lot of time in elevation, and if it drops to 40 degrees sometimes during the evenings, if I'm out there late doing an owl survey, or if I'm up really early in the morning before the sun comes up, it's nice to have a puffy, even in the middle of the summer. Field vest. So I spend a lot of time on both public and private property, and oftentimes I'm out there during hunting season. As a hunter myself, this is a crucial piece. This is just a mesh hunting vest, good for high vis. When you're out in places, especially if you're unfamiliar, it's good to be seen. I do some work, transportation work, so I find myself next to the road. It's nice to have some of you distracted drivers see something bright orange. This I also like to keep very handy. So I'm really excited for these 2 pockets here on the Zevo. So this is a double pocket. This outer one isn't flexible, it's kind of small, but this inner one has got some bungee to it. So I'm just gonna shove this right in that outer pocket. I'm gonna put my water bladder. So typically in the field I'll carry, I think this is 2.5 liters. I carry 2.5 liters of water in the bladder. I'll throw it in the fridge if I'm in a hotel or something at night, and then pop it back in the bag in the morning. And then I'll carry 1 or 2 bottles additional with me for the remainder of the day, to have enough water, because I don't often have the ability to just go back to the truck. Sometimes when I leave, it's I'm not coming back till I'm done for the day, so I need to have enough with me that I can sustain and finish my work. Alright, so this is a roll top closure bag, but on the back panel here you can see there's an opening for water bladder. So I'm going to route this my preferred side, the right side. Alright, and then this zippered compartment, I think it's not huge, but it's big enough for, you know, a couple extra pens and pencils, some Sharpies, you know, field markers. We will put some of those in the bottom. Never know when you need another one. We got a waterproof case for my wallet, business cards, those kinds of things. Backup batteries, so I spend a lot of time doing surveys on my phone. Gotta have some backup batteries. Can't run out of juice in the field. Throw in my headlamp. Don't want to stumble around in the dark, losing my way. Gotta be able to navigate all of that. GPS unit, so this tracks down to sub-meter accuracy. This is the backpack strap. So I use this really to mark anything, mapping all the way, you know, from nests in trees to wetland boundaries, those kinds of things. I've got some snivel gear here. This I'm probably going to be taking out because it's getting to the point where I don't need to carry it with me. I'll know in the morning it'll still just be in the truck or in my other gear. If I need it, I need it. If I don't, I won't bring it. Leatherman, should never be without a multi-tool, a good multi-tool. Always have one. Never know if you need to fix something or pull cactus out of your butt. Field glasses. I kind of go back and forth between where I stage these. Sometimes I'll stick these on the outside. If I'm out in the field, they'll just be around my neck. I'm gonna put these just on top of the pack here. Dog bowl. I do bring my dog with me. I like to make sure she has water, so I bring her a little bowl. Got some plastic bags here. You're probably wondering what the heck I'm doing with these. So I collect plant samples when I'm trying to ID plants. I often will put them just in a bag so that I can keep them clean and separate from other things. I just reuse bags that I use in the kitchen. So that is my work pack. Oh, actually, last item. This has been a game changer. So these are the Shox headphones. I think these are the Shox Swim Pro. Very cool, you know, ear bone resonance headphones. They work very well. It also keeps your ears open. You know, for me, it's really easy to just hike, you know, through the forest to a bird survey location, listen to a podcast on the way in, stop it. I don't have to mess with anything. And then I can listen for my birds. So thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. If you have questions, drop them below.